With millions of YouTube channels, the favorite amongst bulimic bivalve breeders in Biloxi is TalksALot Entertainment. This is N.E.W.S.
Hello and thank you for joining us on Not Entertainment Worthy Stuff. Today's stories include a Florida man in Washington state stealing almost $500,000 worth of crab, auto theft made easy via the Tesla app, and Ohio police gun down a zebra after it almost bites off its owner's arm. These stories and more, but first, our illustrious panelist, Ryan Roger Athe. Hello, sir. How are you?
Hello, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. And I just noticed, after staring Cory straight in the face, are you cosplaying as a farmer?
Nah, just a grandpa.
Because I noticed not only your attire, but the cap and the facial hair, obviously. And it looks as if we're seeing a 21st century farmer, ladies and gentlemen, with headphones to boot. So it's great to be here, my good man. And hopefully we have a great talk with not only each other, but also the wonderful chat. I will respond to you once I type on my keyboard over here, because I have a secondary screen.
Nice. Upgrades. Speaking of the chat, let's say hello, shall we? Hail, Vince Womack. It's wonderful to see you here on this lovely Monday morning for me, Monday evening, afternoon, or night for you. And, of course, there's Ryan Roger Athe. I hope all is well. So, Ryan, how was your weekend?
Oh, it was very good. The highlight of my weekend was being a guest of the one, the only, the iconic Hypnotic. See what I did there? On his Saturday night hypnosis. There were a lot of people there. I had a great time, and hopefully it's the first of many talks with all of those wonderful fellow creators. It's always great to bring people together, folks, and hopefully through my own show, reality-based, the most criminally underrated creators can interact with one another, pool their creator audiences, so to speak, and go far as rising stars.
Indeed. Another wonderful person to join us in the chat is the Gaming Jew. Shalom, sir.
Great to see the Gaming Jew. Very good gaming live streamer, folks. And he's Jewish, too, so it's a good friend to have.
Indeed. So we're going to jump right into the news stories. But ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to support the channel, make sure that you hit that link and donate to the Ko-Fi. I do have it open, but whether or not it actually notifies me is a completely different story.
Because this farmer, ladies and gentlemen, this farmer needs to buy some sheep for his 21st century farm.
Indeed, I do. But you got to keep 70s rock fan away from them. That's the only rule. And now, our first story of the day. A man charged for impersonating a Stanwood Safeway agent steals $432,000 worth of crab. Of course, a Florida man is facing federal charges after allegedly pretending to be a Safeway employee in Stanwood, Washington. By the way, Washington State, if you couldn't tell, and ordering nearly $500,000 worth of crab in an effort to transport the seafood. David Subil was indicted by the U.S. Supreme District Court in Seattle early March of interstate trafficking or transportation of stolen property charges. Prosecutors say operations began in January and continued in February. So in 2 months, this man stole $436,000 worth of crab.
This man wanted to get crabs, folks. He wanted
Indeed, he did.
Crabs.
I will just say there's easier ways to do it, and there's less charges if you just go to a hooker. But anyway, according to prosecuting documents, the Stanwood Police Department on January 4th told Homeland Security Investigations Blaine that a man pretending to be an agent of Safeway and Albertsons stole at least $432 worth of Russian king crab and a polio crab in Stanwood. He fraudulently impersonated a Safeway employee named Christopher Delgado, sent fake purchase orders to a California-based seafood company, North Star Cold Storage. He rented a truck that was 26 feet long, probably a U-Haul, and transported the crab. Man, that guy really likes his seafood.
Maybe he wasn't a man. Maybe he was a crab pretending to be a man, trying to save his fellow crabs, folks. You never know.
All right, so right here it says Subil was arrested for driving under the influence and damage to property or a person by the South Miami Police Department in October. Charging documents say on February 7th, officials connected Subil to the seafood heist. On February 18th, Subil booked a one-way ticket from Miami to Medellin, Colombia, the following day.
You guys have a mental illness problem in the States.
Yes, we do. According to Customs and Border Protection records, Subil had no international travel in the last 5 years. Subil has no known connection to Colombia. Based on my experience and recent activity in the case, I believe this last-minute travel was booked in order to flee the country from potential prosecution. Of course. And I'm glad that Vince recognizes that this is a Florida man. He just went, national and tried to go international. I don't know how much crab goes for in Colombia, but hopefully it was worth it. I'm assuming stealing $500,000 worth of crab gets you at least 10 years in prison.
Oh yes, solid prison sentence, folks. I mean, that's a major stock of merchandise, and to do something like that, folks, in order to take that much assets worth as much as, say, a modern day house in a suburb, if you live in a Republican city, rare as they are, but that is a lot of money, and to try and take that stock and that value, you're going to get sent away for a long time. What was he thinking? Unless he was a crab pretending to be a human.
Right. So according to the prices we see here, the king crab he stole ranges from $35 a pound to $63.60 a pound, roughly. Ooh. So that's a lot of crab. That is a shitload of crab.
Maybe about 1,000, 2,000.
And then we'll go price per pound on not the Russian. I want the polio
crab.
Polio crab. Let's see how much the polio crab goes for.
Oh my! What a
Typically
name!
$26.54 a pound for the polio crab.
What do you want today, sir? Oh, I want some polio crab, please. I'm like, what? That's a thing? I mean, imagine putting two diseases together and making it a dish.
Polio and crabs, now available at the Fauci Diner.
Oh,
yummy. I wonder how much butter sauce this guy keeps on hand. I mean,
wonder where he puts it.
Right? That is a fairly good question. And now for our next story. A man claims his Tesla app let him drive someone else's car. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, auto theft made easy via the Tesla app.
Maybe that's Elon Musk's maybe that's Musk's plan, ladies and gentlemen. He becomes so wealthy that anyone can, with the Tesla app, can use a Tesla car. And if we all buy Tesla cars and have the Tesla app, if our car breaks down, we can just go to the next Tesla car and hop in that one.
Right? So, fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Tesla's mobile app apparently let an immigration consultant from Canada get into and drive someone else's vehicle. In Vancouver, British...
That's obvious, though. He's an immigration consultant, so of course they're going to let him take vehicles. But please
Vancouver,
continue.
British Columbia resident Rajesh Randev claims the Tesla app on his phone gave him access to and let him drive a Tesla that wasn't his. Man, can I just download the Tesla app, or do I have to have like a VIN number punch in there? Anyway, Tesla owners can use the mobile app to lock and unlock their cars from their phone and also gain access to it as long as both their phone and car are connected to the internet. It's only supposed to work with a Tesla a person owns, however. I apparently found a glitch, said Randev.
I just like to say, Cory, what if you don't have an internet connection? Can you still have a Tesla and not have the internet? Do they come with keys?
No, they don't work outside of the 15-minute cities, unfortunately. Yeah.
Oh,
it's a way to make sure that peasants don't cross the district borders. Just saying. Panem forever, I suppose. But yeah, apparently I found a glitch, said Randev. The other car was parked right next to Rendev's and it was the same make and color as his own Tesla, leading to the mix-up when he went to pick up his car and drive his kids to school on Tuesday. So he not only got to drive someone else's car,
he can't even tell his own car, ladies and gentlemen, and he's an immigration consultant. He's the person defending the invaders, and he can't even tell what his car is.
To be fair, almost all the Teslas look exactly the same.
Oh.
And here in Colorado, the most popular is just the base white Tesla. Like that, it's pretty easy to get confused. Hail to Janet from another planet. Happy to see you here, madam. Wonderful time we're having talking about a man able to steal another man's car.
Like most immigrants do, in all honesty, folks. Usually this guy's the offensive one.
Usually. After 5 to 10 minutes, this is Rajesh speaking. He says, after 5 to 10 minutes, I got a text on my phone that said, Rajesh, are you driving Tesla? The person who texted him told Randev that he was driving the wrong Tesla. Randev called the person and they figured out what had happened. The other Tesla driver got Randev's phone number from a document that was visible inside his car. Randev continued to drive the wrong Tesla to pick up his kids from school and then met up with the other person to set things right. We were both laughing and I called the police as well, said Randev. He was unable to figure out how the Tesla app let him into another person's car. I was surprised how I was able to drive someone else's car by mistake for an hour and a half while his car was in his hand. What?
Yeah, the phone.
Yeah, the phone was in his hand, I'm sure. Yeah. Randev has reached out to Tesla with video evidence of the incident, but some of his emails bounced back and he has yet to hear from the automaker.
No, it's not a flaw, folks. It's a feature.
Right?
Like Bethesda, the Tesla is the Bethesda of cars.
Last year, a German teenager revealed he was able to hack into and gain remote control over 25 or more Tesla cars in 13 countries. In that case, however, the hacker exploited security flaws that have since been patched. So obviously Elon, everybody's golden boy, has some work to do on his shit. Overall, what do you think this is a promising sign for the future of automotive stuff?
Well, in my view, ladies and gentlemen, electricity has its place, but not in cars. I mean, it's difficult enough, especially in Western nations, to secure our current supply of electricity. What we should be trying to do is, one, diversify our energy sources, not just to produce electricity, but also to produce raw fuels like fossil fuels. That's a classic example. But everything is going electric. And unless we have a much bigger electrical capacity and storage capacity as well, then if we get rid of fossil fuel based vehicles, then there are going to be a lot fewer vehicles on the road. And the days of free charging of electricity for electric vehicles, that's going to go, because of the fact that these vehicles take up a lot of electricity, a lot of battery power, and we just don't have the capacity. That's why we have to use fossil fuels, in my view, pursue an economy first agenda, as it were, to get ourselves a big supply of energy. Because, as we all know, without energy independence, it's like having your balls in someone else's hands, so to speak. and they could twist them at any the foreign nation could twist them at any moment, and you've got no power.
Testicular torsion.
It happened to the West during the Yom Kippur War in the early 1970s. The Arabs were like, well, you're supporting the Israelis in the West, we're just going to turn the oil off. And now you're not going to have any oil or gas for your cars. And as I was saying with Joe's Atmosphere yesterday on Reality Based, you couldn't get fuel for half the week. Every odd day, a certain license plate number would go and get fuel, and then every even day, the other license plate would be able to get fuel. So it does happen. That's why we need a lot of energy, especially fossil fuels, because they are the most consistent and the most readily available. Nuclear is a good option. I
like the idea of nuclear power for residences and maintaining a steady supply of fossil fuels. Yes. I like that idea. In the United States, they need to reopen Keystone and deregulate the Willow pipeline that's getting ready to go in.
Well, I'd just like to highlight that I myself am in favor of nuclear-powered space vehicles, because it's the most readily available power source, folks. Of course, there are massive risks, especially if it goes boom. But as far as I'm aware, the consequences of a nuclear explosion in space, away from Earth, is kind of an unknown, because we don't really think about it that much.
Right. Hail the lovely Sherry. It's wonderful to see you here. It's always great to have a good female representation in the chat. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's lovely Sherry. She's definitely lovely. That's for sure.
She's a monk surprise when they've been good.
Yeah, she's a nun that turns into Stabby Sherry, and then you die. Anyway, our next one is quite a conundrum. Ohio police kill a zebra after it nearly bites its owner's arm off.
Christ.
I'll read that again one more time. Zebra nearly bites off owner's arm. The victim was 72 years old, but won't lose his arm. Police killed a zebra in Ohio after it attacked and nearly bit off its owner's arm. Officers from Pickaway County Sheriff's Office were called Sunday to a rural property in Circleville, Ohio, around 5:36 p.m. They found Ronald Clifton on the ground in front of a herd of zebras. He was hemorrhaging blood below his right elbow from a bite, according to the police report. Hail Joe's Atmosphere. Speaking of the, he just said your name. I can't even say that right. Yeah, what's up?
Great guy. Check him out.
An officer placed his car between the 72-year-old victim and the herd to help tend to Clifton when he said a large male zebra charged my driver's side door and was acting very hostile.
Why are you owning zebra? They're wild animals.
Yeah, people are weird. After the officer was able to scare off the hostile zebra with his vehicle's air horns and sirens, he and his partner were able to administer a tourniquet to Clifton's arm and get him on his feet. While Clifton was being cared for by EMS, officers observed the same male zebra approach Clifton's family and officers, according to the report. The family authorized the police to shoot the zebra if it got too close. Well, guess what? It got too close. A police sergeant yelled at the zebra 3 times as it approached her, then fired at its head with her shotgun, killing it. according to the report.
I'd like to advise to the police officer, this is not a minority. It won't just stop and say, hands up, don't shoot. It's a fucking zebra.
Right?
It's an animal. Why are you talking to it like it's a a minority figure who's going to be a figure of emulation for the next few years, to the point where half of America is burned to the ground? Just shoot it.
Right. The officer who shot the zebra said it was protective of about 5 to 6 female zebras that were in the field at its location upon arrival, meaning that it was rutting season and this guy was horny as hell, so they shot him in the head. Don't get horny, apparently. Is the
How
lesson.
American of him.
Right? He is in stable condition and won't lose his arm. Good for Clifton, but damn, that zebra just wanted to get his rocks off, and y'all had to go and shoot him in the head. Man, that's kind of toxic, if you ask me.
For some reason, Cory is looking at me occasionally. I don't know
Yes,
why.
I am. That's my second screen over there. I'd put
Mine
it
was
over here, but
actually
then
right
I'd fall
here,
over.
too. So
The owner probably slapped the zebra. It reminded him of remembered Chris Rock getting slapped. He was a zebra in Madagascar. Haha, that's a good one. That's a good one.
was Will Smith the lion?
Better than getting shot in the dicks. This is true. This is true. I would really hate that. And our next story comes straight out of a Hollywood plot, honestly.
Oh.
Off the shores of Colombia, a 50-foot submarine is discovered with 2 bodies and 3 tons of cocaine. Yeah. 3 tons of cocaine, ladies and gentlemen. If it's not Colombia, it's not shit.
Mm-hmm.
A submarine with 2 dead bodies and nearly 3 tons of cocaine aboard was seized in the Pacific Ocean off the coast of Colombia. The 2 survivors were in poor health, were found in the vessel and given first aid. These people's poor health state is presumably due to the inhalation of toxic fumes caused by fuel problems inside the boat. Wow, that sucks. Roughly 50-foot submarine carrying almost 5,800 pounds of cocaine worth more than $87 million. Wow, was seized. That's insane. The Navy vessel had been bound for countries in Central America, and the seizure had kept more than 6 million doses of cocaine off the illegal market.
Well,
that is a lot of cocaine.
It just goes to show, folks, what a leaky pipe can lead to. So if you are going to smuggle tens of millions or hundreds of millions of dollars worth of illegal substances, get the basics right when you're trying to smuggle them. Otherwise, you'll asphyxiate yourself, and all of what you have done would have been for nothing. So get the basics right first before you do the big stuff, okay?
For real.
Mm.
So obviously we have some conflicting evidence in this report. It says the people's poor health was due to the breathing problems, but here in the caption on this video, it says 2 dead bodies.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
CBS they were
News,
killed.
reliable as always. And here we see a picture of the submarine. Okay, this is not what you expect when you see a submarine.
No, it looks like a motorboat.
Half-sunk motorboat.
Yes, that's sort of skimming the surface, like a homemade hybrid contraption, because Colombians are not capable of making submarines. Hello, Fat Stephen. I hope you're doing well. Oh, definitely, Cory. I agree.
Of course I was muted. I could believe that, but I like to just entertain the delusion that, you know, they were alive until they got arrested by Colombian officials. Now they're officially classified as found dead. Just saying.
I was going to wonder how long you were going to stay muted, so I was trying to read your lips, as it were, and say, yes, I I agree. Wait until
Right.
you. Oh.
The rescued men, the 2 victims, and the seized drugs were brought to Tumaco, where they were presented to the Technical Investigation Corps of the Attorney General's office, a statement said. Officials posted images of the submarine seizure showing officers hauling packages off the ship. One video appeared to show officers carrying a victim on a stretcher on a pier toward an ambulance. Not going to watch the videos, but we will just take a look at this picture real quick.
Mm-hmm. Damn, son.
Like, that's a lot. Like, holy shit. I'm going to have to reset my Zoom now. That was bad. Where was it? Come on. Yeah, a bit more. Nope. Just. All right, there we go. All right. Anyway, that's insane. Hail Awesome One. He says, Ryan, starring as Cocaine Ryan.
Well, I will say, ladies and gentlemen, that if you're going to get into the industry, number one, don't, because it's extremely dangerous. And number two, learn from the mistakes of others so you don't make those mistakes as well.
Indeed.
I'm not speaking from experience. I'm 23. I know I don't look it. Maybe there's a reason. You don't know. I don't know.
Who knows?
Who knows?
The Columbia Navy will continue to use all its capabilities to stop the scourge of narco trafficking.
Mm-hmm.
So-called narco subs are commonly used by traffickers in the region to transport the drugs. Last year, the Colombian Navy seized a semi-submersible vehicle carrying 4 tons of cocaine, worth about $150 million. The submarines sometimes make it all the way to North America. In 2019, a submarine carrying 12,000 pounds of cocaine worth more than $165 million, that's just crazy, was seized by the U.S. Coast Guard. Wow. And now I'm learning things. Zoom to 100% is Control 0. Okay, now I know. Control plus 0. That's good.
Or is it Control plus O?
Let's find out. Control 0. It worked.
Oh,
Damn. Vince knows what's up. That's crazy. Real quick, just got to check something, see if it notified me or not.
Sure. Go
Click.
right ahead.
Oh, okay. I don't know about you guys, but I have been suffering from a lack of notifications in a crazy way lately. Between YouTube and Ko-Fi and messages on Twitter. Nothing works the way it's supposed to. Gosh. And always remember 10% to the big guy.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. All right. And our next one is entertaining to me. Yeah. Oh, what's up? Hail, Sean E-Step. It's wonderful to see you, sir. So I have no idea what you mean by the emojis. 99% of the time. Just saying. Now, the guards opened fire after a car ran the gate at Naval Base Coronado. If you're not familiar with where Coronado is, I believe it's San Diego, California. And it has a surprise twist. Zoom in. All right. Naval Base Coronado went into lockdown last night after a car tried to run the gate at the installation, prompting guards to open fire on the vehicle. After 10 p.m. on Friday, March 17th, the car tried to get through the main gate at the Naval Air Station North Island, part of the wider Naval Base Coronado. The driver lacked clearance and did not stop or slow down going through the gate. In response, the base guards, hail to them, opened fire on the vehicle, forcing it to stop. The base went on to lockdown, closing all of the gates as a result. Base guards took the suspect into custody and arrested by the Coronado Police Department. In addition to trying to breach the base, the driver was booked for driving under the influence. The twist? Police identified the driver as Sergeant Michael Cruz, a deputy with the San Diego County Sheriff's Department, who was off duty at the time. Again, don't trust the cops in California. Because you never know what they're going to be high on, drunk or otherwise. Like, what? A witness
Probably cocaine.
Probably cocaine, yeah. He was probably, that was, Maybe that sub was bound for Coronado. Who knows?
Mhm.
He was in the Pacific Ocean, so could have been going north. A witness told local news stations that they heard more than a dozen gunshots during the incidents. Authorities have not yet confirmed how many rounds were fired, but no one was hurt in the incident. That's because they're Marines and naval personnel who know what they're doing to stop a vehicle. Some of these people
Or
probably stopped vehicles rushing checkpoints in Iraq, and they were like, "Oh hell no!" And that was that.
or the armed forces are so badly trained that they can't shoot straight and take a hostile target down.
Unfortunately, the guards are not authorized to use lethal force in these instances unless they prove outstanding threat. So, once again, hail to the Marines and Navy personnel of Coronado.
Mhm. Let's put our guns onto Italian mode.
Yeah, Italian mode. Typewriter it up.
Hmm.
Hail Terminus Est. Happy to see you. He says, Joe's Atmosphere says, oops. An awesome one says, sounds like a self-deletion attempt. While that is true, who knows?
Well, he does live in California. So, yeah.
This is true. This is true. Sheriff's Department will not tolerate criminal behavior in its ranks and will hold employees accountable for their actions. I hope you hold them to higher accountability than you do your politicians. Anyway, Friday's incident was the second time a car tried running to the gates at a military base in Southern California this year. On the evening of January 27th, the car tried to breach the gate and gain unauthorized access to the installation at Marine Base Camp Pendleton. That's a bad place to try and break into. And those Marines are like, yo, I haven't had my meth in 3 days. I'm going to kill you. You don't want to do that. Guards deployed a final denial barrier. I like that, denial barrier. And then the car crashed into it, wrecking the front end of the sedan, and it burst into flames. The driver was then taken to a hospital. Okay, guys, I think we've learned a couple things today. One, don't rush military bases with your car.
No.
Especially if you're intoxicated. 2, don't trust zebras, especially when it's rutting season. And 3, don't let the fuel leak on your drug sub. It's just really not a great idea.
That's what maintenance is for, ladies and gentlemen. Final checks before you go in. Don't cut corners because you want to get the job done. You want to get your 10%, as it were. And you want to keep on going and keep on growing, because one mistake in any industry, Cory, and you could step on a landmine. It could blow you up either in the best way, but most likely in the worst way possible. And that's in any industry.
Yep. Hail Boosh McFadden. And of course, Ryan is speaking of proverbial landmines in most industries, but literal landmines in the military-industrial complex.
Yes. Best way to defend your nation is with sea mines on water, land mines on land, and who knows, maybe cloaked air mines for the air to stop those pesky aeroplanes.
Vince Womack says, looking for a video for you about the effectiveness of the military. I can guarantee you, the military's effectiveness has decreased exponentially within the last 3 years. Probably, I'll extend that to the last decade. Because the one thing they want us to do is not have a good military. If we don't have a good military, we're defenseless, and then any Chi-Com piece of shit can come in and fuck us. That's right.
Exactly.
Much like Gavin Newsom is probably a Chi-Com butt buddy. Just saying.
Well, the Japanese did it to the Chinese.
Landrigan.
So.
Nargurdinal. Landrigan.
Hail. Hope all is well.
He's a wonderful guy. Awesome one says, as a kid 25 years ago, there were not enough seatbelts, so my dad had me get into the trunk to get on the Air Force Base. Spikehead. Nice.
How American of you.
Yes. We have drill man baby sergeants. Indeed. Vince Womack says, yes, they are basically soy boys trying to get over a wall on an obstacle course. Yes, I've also seen the Navy SEAL training of sucking the dildo on the wall, which, by the way, what the fuck, boys? You're the teams. You're not, like, you should be able to, like, know that your balls are falling off when these cocksuckers decide to have you suck on a fucking dildo in the middle of your training exercises. All right.
They make you literal cocksuckers
Back
to
when I
join
was
their ranks.
Back when I was volunteering for the teams, didn't get in, by the way, because medical disqualification, but they wouldn't have tolerated that. They wouldn't have put up with that for a single fucking second. Okay. And yes, SEALs are in the Navy. I love the Navy. I'm a Navy brat, and I will always love the Navy. I just don't love who's in charge, especially crazy bitch face Biden. Fuck you, POTUS. Anyway.
Where's the battle droids, Cory? Because you know they're going to automate soldiers one of these days, and we're going to have B1s and B2 super battle droids with guns in their arms telling people where they can and cannot go. And it doesn't matter how many of you have guns, folks. If these soldiers are being made in factories, they're going to have more B1 and B2 battle droids, to use a Star Wars term, then you have bullets in your magazines.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
True facts.
That's if they're not armored, because they'll probably be armored. Oh, my.
Joe's Atmosphere bought me a coffee for $3. He says the guards double as stormtroopers for Disney. You're probably not wrong, Joe. You're probably not wrong. But honestly, if they worked for Disney, you'd think they'd be a little bit more willing to kill. Just saying, you know. And for all of those unaware of the lethal action requirements for breaching a military base, a car rushing the military base isn't classified as a lethal threat until it's within a certain distance, or it has been shown that the occupant has lethal devices. It's
like a machine gun.
Terminus S brings up a good point. The military is certainly getting worn with the clot shots being mandated. You're not wrong. Unfortunately for our service members, they don't have a choice, and it's going to fuck them really bad.
Well, think of it this way, Cory. If you're a soldier and your commanding officer orders you to get shot, are you going to shoot yourself? No. So don't. Leave. Because you're getting shot.
Honestly, if I had made it into the SEALs and all of this came up, I would take time over the shot. I would get court-martialed. I would spend time in jail. I would spend time in a military prison. They're not fun. I've toured the facilities and stuff, but I would have much rather gone to a military prison or been dishonorably discharged than get that godforsaken bullshit of a shot.
As it were.
Hail to the Gilkman. What's up, Thomas? Hope things are well. Always good to see you, sir. It's been a while. And now that we're over halfway through, ladies and gentlemen, I have a preview of my newest song to share with you. Just a heads up, if you don't like rap or hip hop, mute your shit for the next minute or so. But this one has gone through tester groups. I've had professional sound musicians listen to it. I've had lay people listen to it. They've said it's good, so just check it out. This song will be releasing Friday on the Cory Music channel. I will go ahead and drop a link to that in the chat real quick. Click and make sure you're subscribed to that. Now I got to push all the right buttons to get the video again. All right, here we go. I hope you enjoy.
This is new, but it feels like a case of deja vu. More and more of the same, different pain, different names. Still the same old set of rules, still the same old game. It's just history repeating, coming round again. To all the empty rhetoric, the stuff that flames again. And the mad lead the blind, and the fools teach the wise. That becomes heresy, and we all pay the price. You can't escape from the video. You can't escape once it grabs you. You can't escape from the video.
boom, there it is. It's called Again and Again, and it's literally about the fact that we're repeating the same historical lessons over and over again. That is, of course, just the first verse and chorus section of the song. If you liked it, go check it out on Cory Music Channel, and make sure this Friday, go check it out. Yeah. But yeah, I've been working on that song for a little bit now. It took me longer than most songs to get done, simply for the fact that I wanted it as professional as possible. So that's me singing in the background. That's me rapping. I did all of the mixing, all of the sound effects, levels, all that stuff, because I'm taking time to learn my art more effectively. I'm still not a musician. I still can't make music because it doesn't work that way in my brain. But I'm having a fantastic time working on this shit. And of course, the lovely Sherry's applauding. Shawnee Stepp enjoyed it. And Joe's Atmosphere says, can't tell what you're saying, but recognize the talent. Already subbed. But if you can't tell what I'm saying, that's okay. By Friday, I'll have the actual final cut finished. I've been fighting with the balance of that first verse with the music like crazy, and like 1% down, the lyrics overpower. 1% up, the music overpowers. Like, and then like changing it in like half percentages and stuff like that is a pain in the ass. But as I said, I'm working on it. So yeah.
That's why when I
did
that's why when I did Ryan's original songs, it was just me stating what I had written and going from there. It's much easier to do than having, music complement it, as it were.
Yeah. Bush McFadden says, your gobbledygook accent makes me laugh. Funny man.
You can't escape from the deja vu.
Indeed. He says it could be my TV sound system. Yes, if you're watching on your TV, it is probably not everything it should be, because that is best with stereo headphones or a ridiculous sound system. I know, I've played it on both. It's fantastic. Shawnee Stepp says, watch One-Eyed Wong at 1.75 speed. So good. That is apparently the preferred method to enjoy my stuff. I release them at normal speed, and you guys can speed them up to 1.75. That's totally fine. Speaking of the adventures of One-Eyed Wong, there is a schedule change with that. We're only doing Tuesdays and Thursdays now for that, so I can have not only more time to actually beat these bosses and stuff, because they're a pain in my ass, but to provide the best possible show that I can, considering what I got. Yeah, just saying. The gobbledygook accent makes me laugh. What does that mean, gobbledygook accent? Huh? What does that mean? What does that mean? Is it how I'm talking right now? I mean, come on, Bush. You can't just sit there all quiet and stuff. You got to talk. What are you doing? You're just going to leave me hanging like this? You're such a boob.
Shouldn't you be cooking a pizza right now, Bush, or something?
Oh, man. He did corned beef. He said he wrecked, but then he sliced and rendered the fat. Man, it looked so delicious. I want that man to cook for me sometime. I don't know where you are, Bush, but I'm coming for you. I should say I'm coming for your food. Yeah. I will find you like Liam Neeson. Anyway. Joe's Atmosphere says, all right, off to cut the yard. You two have an awesome stream. Have fun. Thank you for joining us.
Have a great day, my good man.
It is always fantastic to have you here. Yeah, so I will go ahead and just talk about Wo Long, the Fallen Dynasty, because apparently Ryan pointed out that it's based on is it an old legend of the Three Kingdoms, or how does that work?
It's basically, folks, dark fantasy meets Romance of the Three Kingdoms, which was a novel written, I believe, in the 15th century by a fellow named Luo Guozhang, called Romance of the Three Kingdoms. It's based on the fall of the Han and the rise of the Three Kingdoms from 184 AD all the way to 280 AD. But most of the story that we know is set between 184, which was started with the Yellow Turban Rebellion, and it ends with 234, the Battle of Wuzhang Plains, where the last great character in the story passes away, as it were. And I've heard about that story for many, many years since I was a boy, and thankfully a Japanese company called Koei found that story and made Dynasty Warriors out of it. The first 8 games are very good. The 9th one, not so good. But hopefully they release a 10th one and they balance what was best about 9 and 8 and put it together. More characters, more people. Some of them were real figures of history. Others, well, bit of both, bit of history, bit of fantasy.
Yeah.
And great story, man. It's something that we in the West, I think, are in desperate need of, because all these different characters, all of their stories, their rises, their falls, that sort of thing. And it just goes to show that everyone has their time to shine, but as a result of their own undoings or the undoings of others, these characters fade away.
Indeed.
And none of the 3 kingdoms ultimately prevail, Cory, to spoil it for you.
Hey, you ain't spoiling nothing. I didn't even know it existed before you.
One kingdom sneaks up on everyone else and then ultimately takes over the entire Chinese world at the time, which is now the center of what is modern China. So the vast majority of people who live in China live within the borders of three kingdoms. China is literally the heart of China. So it's a great story.
Hail the mass grave. It's just mass grave. I put the there because I can. Anyway. I'm enjoying the Wolong story. I'm not huge on Chinese entertainment in general. I like Chinese actors when they're in kung fu movies and stuff, but Bush says, is it the Fire Kingdom? No, there's no war in Ba Sing Se, okay? There's no war in Ba Sing Se. But this game so far, it's interesting. A lot of people are saying it's hard for the sake of being hard.
Oh, yeah. That's the 3 kingdoms period in a nutshell. I think about 80% of the population of China was murdered in the process of 100 years. So it is.
That explains why there's not many NPCs in this game. They of course put the whole like Chinese spiritual elements into the game as well, with various like Qinlin stuff like that, Qilin, various Chinese spiritual guides and gods and stuff like that. And but I realized while doing a little research that I'm not even a quarter of the way through that game.
No.
And I put 9 hours into it or whatever. But granted, it took me 2.5 hours to beat the General of Heaven across 2 separate days as well. So I understand why people are giving up on this game.
It's too difficult, as it were. I mean, folks, Lu Bu never lost a battle. It literally took a massive alliance of people to oppose him, and ultimately he was betrayed by his own, and that's how he lost.
I will single-handedly kill him. That being said, I'm also not using any of the multiplayer stuff. So I'm soloing this game. It's incredibly difficult, but it gives me a lot of time to make fun of the NPC partners that you get in the game, because every single one of them sucks. They like, if it weren't for them distracting the bosses, I would die a lot faster. But at the same time, every time I kill a boss, they're dead. Like, my companion's already dead. I'm like, I ain't got time to pick you up. What you talking about? Man.
But hopefully they expand upon the game, because it does have a good premise. But the story they are sourcing from is such a massive one that encompasses so many eras, so many factions, so many people's rises and falls. And I think the dark fantasy element of this evil force trying to corrupt the timeline sort of thing would be a great way of bringing everyone together and having a good time. They tried to do that with the Warriors Orochi series, in which this demon god Orochi comes in and messes up the timelines, and everyone has to band together to defeat him.
Yeah.
My God, what a damn story that was. Especially with the Hydras. My goodness. But managed to defeat him in the end.
That's good. All right. But ladies and gentlemen, we are in the last 10 minutes, and I'm going to go ahead and wind down so I can get on with the rest of my day, of course. It's been lovely having you all here. Ryan, tell people where to find you, bro.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much for watching the 18th episode of, what's the show called again? News!
It's Cory's Corner. Yeah, just saying.
Cory's Corner. My goodness, I should know the name of the damn show. If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe to TalksALot Entertainment, formerly Sir TalksALot, and I'm sure you will enjoy what he has to offer. In regards to what I'm doing, at 11 p.m. UK time, which is 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Mountain, and 4 p.m. Pacific time, I will be welcoming Fat Steven Seagal, the one, the only, the Just a Fat Gamer, onto the show, the 61st episode of Reality Based, where we go through his origins, happenings, and enjoyments as a creator. He's promised to bring whiskey, too. Nothing better than loose lips to get exclusive information, folks. And so much the better.
Yeah.
So tune in.
All right. That's awesome. Make sure you catch Reality Based tonight, man. That's going to be a good show if Fat Steven Seagal is on there. Like, legit. Legit. As for me, I will be on Yelling at Parked Cars tonight with the Dix Division boys. Tomorrow, you will have another episode of The Adventures of One-Eyed Wong. And then it's back to a normal work week for me. So then Thursday, then I'm going to do a show this Saturday. I don't have a guest, so I will probably I probably talk to Ryan.
Yay!
It won't be news and stuff like that. It'll be a little bit more creator focused. So
will that be in the afternoon or evening?
It'll be about the same time as this.
Okay, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah. I like to keep mine in my morning, my time, just so I can free up a little bit more of the day. But of course, make sure you're subscribed to Ryan Roger Athay. He is a fantastic creator. And make sure you share this stream out if you enjoyed watching it. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed. I definitely need help from my fans to start growing more. Obviously, the Dix Division has helped out quite a lot, but since I'm trying to establish myself as an independent creator, I need the fans' help to do that. So please, any way that you can help is more than welcome. But until next time, ladies and gentlemen, stay sexy. Don't get murdered. And as always, have a wonderful time. Bye-bye.
Bye for now.